Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, so I want to talk about Cobra Kai, Cobra Kai season 5. Got done watching it, and yeah, I want to talk about it. I want to share some thoughts and opinions and views on this show. It's not a review; it's really just me rambling for however long this video is about a show that I just watched. I'm probably gonna get into some spoilers. I'll try and avoid like major big stuff, but yeah, I'm probably going to say some things. But yes, I just watched Cobra Kai season 5, and let me talk about it a little bit. So, what I'd say first of all, though, is that Cobra Kai from the beginning has really nailed that balance between nostalgia and the modern era. Recognizing where it's from, recognizing where it is, and not dwelling too much in the past, but also not dwelling too much in the past, but also bringing recognizing the past and bringing some of those elements into the modern world, and it really helps it nail some natural humor. I would say you don't necessarily have to have watched Karate Kid movies before watching this. That being said, you'll definitely get a lot more context, and certain things do definitely feel more impactful if you have watched those movies. It does pretty much catch you up with what you need to know and has a few flashbacks here and there. So you don't need to, but I still recommend. And besides, Karate Kid is a classic. If you've not seen Karate Kid, do yourself a favor and go watch Karate Kid. So yeah, that's how. So I feel like over the 5 seasons, it's really kind of nailed that balance, and it's really produced a really cool show. And over the 5 seasons, the first season it had that rivalry between Daniel-san. That's what we call him. we don't say Daniel Lewis, we say Daniel-san. Between Daniel-san and Johnny Lawrence. And even though I think at the time, what my feelings at the time was like, it's kind of old, but it's still kind of cool to kind of bring it back a little bit. They're friends, but they're not enemies. They're friends, they're enemies, and they kind of did that for a while. And as their relationship evolved, that was really cool to see. And then, kind of bringing in the older characters that come along. So first bringing in John Kreese, and then bringing in Terry Silva. But you also see Kumiko again. We see Chosen for a little bit as well. And, Daniel's mother. So we see some of the old characters coming back and making these sort of appearances. But with Terry Silva, when he comes in, it's not just a cameo. Well, with John Kreese, really, it's not just a cameo. They're in the series. And I did hear a rumor that with this season, they're going to have Mike Barnes come back. And that did, Mike Barnes was cool and everything, but I did have just a little bit of a concern that before watching the season is that, are they just going to be focused too much on the old characters? Is it going to be like WCW, you know what I mean? When it's just get focused too much on the older stars and, can kind of ignore the newer stars. And pleasantly surprised that it didn't do that. It did focus quite a bit on the older stars, especially with Terry Crews, not quite, but especially with Terry Silva. But it worked for the show, and I feel like the newer guys still got their times to shine as well. So they weren't ignored. They still got their moments in the sun. So that was really cool. And Terry Crews, like the way they developed his character, like he was always like a badass from Karate Kid 3. Like he was a mean sumbitch, right, from Karate Kid 3. But when they brought him back, where it's like in season 4, where in the beginning he was kind of, I guess at the end of season 3, really, when they really bring him, kind of, he's, but anyway, really in season 4, when they bring him in and he's like all mellowed out, he's not really changed. I guess he's kind of letting go of his past, where, I think he was married or he's with somebody, and he's kind of living his rich life and hanging around with all these kind of like aristocrat type high society people. And then John Kreese comes in, and kind of brings him back to his old ways, reminds him of what he used to be, and it awakens this demon inside of him, this sleeping beast. And that was a beast he did not want to awake, because he went in like when he in season 4, he frames Kreese for the beating up Stingray, and then in season 5 we just see more of his ruthlessness. And so the way they did Terry Kreese, bloody Terry Silva. I'm also going to get this guy's name wrong. The way they did Terry Silva in season 5, they just nailed it. And I liked how the rivalry between Silva and Daniel and and Chosen coming into it as well. They escalated it like because it was always intense from season from Karate Kid 3, but this one they really elevated it. This is like 30 something years later. They really elevated that rivalry, and when they had when Terry Silva and Chosen had that fight at the end, man, that was epic. Like the way I thought somebody was gonna get killed, and I don't think they've killed anybody in a Karate Kid movie. I don't think, no, they don't. They haven't killed anybody. Nobody's killed anybody. It's always been like badly beaten up, but nobody's actually killed anybody. But the way I was thinking, like, they might actually kill somebody in this, because like Joseph was all coming in like, I am not afraid to kill, and Terry Crews, Terry Silva was like, I am not afraid to die, and they had that fight, and then so yeah, they really ramped up the intensity in their rivalry, and I liked how when Terry Silva fights Daniel, they kind of have the flashbacks to Daniel remembering his training with Terry Silva and some of the things that Terry Silva was telling him, and how he ends up using that against him. That was so cool. But like I said, they did focus. They did make sure the younger guys had their time with Sun as well. So we had Robbie and Miguel and their rivalry, because they were enemies from the beginning for very good reasons, right? So their rivalry and that being resolved, then Miguel going to Mexico to find his dad, and that I will say that was maybe my one kind of gripe with the series, is that I feel like they could have done more with Miguel finding his dad, because he does find his dad, and he finds out about his dad and why his mom lied about his dad and that whole thing, and he understands why his mom did that, which is cool. But then the guy, his dad, never knows that Miguel is his son, so he just sees him as this guy that came in, he saved this kid's life, and it was hanging around for a little while, and they were friends for a little while, but he doesn't actually know that that's his son. And I just felt like that's kind of a missed opportunity to bring that in more to the story, to have its own issues with everything else going on, where you could just make everything just that much more intense. So yeah, I felt like that was a missed opportunity, but oh well, it didn't ruin the series. It was just kind of like, man. But yeah, Miguel and Robbie having their own issue, and the way they end up resolving that, it was just classic. They have them fight, because like Johnny is talking with Daniel, and he says, Daniel saying that, maybe that's what we should have done back in the day. No mats, no points, just fight until it's finished. And that gave Johnny the idea, and it almost ended very badly, but it turned out to be the right thing to do. And you know what? It sounds like silly fight until you resolve your problems, but truth is, I can remember being in school, and that's pretty much how it was. A lot of the time you get into fights with people and it resolves your issues. I'm not recommending anybody get into fights, by the way. I do believe that the best way to win a fight is to avoid a fight altogether. That being said, the truth be the truth, right? I remember getting into fights with people that you had the biggest issues with, and then after the fight, it's just resolved. And I think a part of that is getting all that anger and frustration out of you. And once it's out and it's done, you have no real reason to be angry anymore. It doesn't matter who won or who punched, you know what I mean? None of that matters anymore. You just both punched each other up. You're both out of breath. You're both crying, or at least you want to cry, but you try to hide hold back the tears. But at the end of it, you're done, you're spent, and the next day you're just friends again. So it really do be like that. It really do be like that. So yeah, I'm not recommending anybody get into fights as a way to solve your problems, because, bruh, these days it could end very badly. But yeah, I totally get that this idea of just two guys just fighting it out and just going until you both had enough, and they did that. So that was a cool thing to put into the show. The Tori story as well, she's kind of come from this background of doesn't have much. She's looking after I think a mother, I think, and a brother, if I remember correctly. But they don't think it's shown in this season. I'm pretty sure they had a younger brother, but I can't remember anymore. Anyway, but she was looking after a sick mom. All right. Anyway, and and she found out that Silva cheated in the tournament. So she beat in the previous season. She beats Sam, and in fairness, I felt like she did win fair and square, but Terry had this what as he referred to it as an insurance policy. So I might need to double check and watch that again. I'm pretty sure she did win fair and square anyway, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, she found out that Terry paid off the referee, and then when they were trying to enter into the competition, there was the Takai Sakai competition, and the guys from there were squaring off between Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang. They brought in a referee, which they thought was impartial, but turns out Terry Crews. How many times am I going to say Terry Crews? Terry Silva had his hands in his pocket as well, and Tori saw that. But the whole time Tori's talking to Kreese, who was framed, so he's in prison, and she's going back and forth and feeling like she's just lying to everybody and just kind of caught in. So she's got her own thing going on and just like going crazy because, and in the end she comes forward and just says, hey, this is what's happening. She tells the Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang guys this is what's happening, and kind of helps them in the end. But yeah, it took a lot for her to just be able to be like, I just can't do this anymore. There's too much going on. People are getting hurt. I'm lying to people. It's not what I wanted to do. It's not what I wanted to, and then just trying to get in her own headspace, kind of clear her conscience. So yeah, I really likes what they did with Tori's character. Sam's character, not so much. Like, I mean, she was okay, I guess, but at times I think she was just being just annoying. It's like she breaks up with Miguel, says, "Oh, yeah, needs a break." And then when she sees Miguel kissing this girl, she's all like, all crying about it. It's like, bro, you told him that. You told him you wanted to break up. Now I get, you have feelings and this, that, and the other, but it's like, you told him you wanted to break up. What do you want him to do? Like, if you don't want it, don't say it. Like, come on. Man ain't mind readers out here. You know what I mean? You say you want to break up, the man, you broke up and the man moved on. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I guess he didn't quite move on, because in the end he gets back together, but it's like, bruh. Then she finds that necklace. I thought that was a bit dumb though, when she finds the necklace, because Miguel buys her a necklace, but she breaks up with him, so he doesn't give it, and he throws it on the floor. It's like, that necklace could have been anybody. She finds it however many days later, and it's like, oh, this must be from Miguel. Yeah. She's like, that was dumb. But anyway, minor thing, man, minor thing. Yeah, Robbie's character and Robbie's relationship with Kenny, that was really interesting, because Kenny from the previous season, he was being bullied by LaRusso's son, whose name I can't remember right now. Anthony, that was it. He's being bullied by him, but then he takes Robbie gets him into Cobra Kai, because Robbie was with Cobra Kai at that time. But then as Robbie was realizing Cobra Kai is no good, Kenny's like really excelling because he's gaining confidence, but maybe a little bit too much, because he goes from being this guy who's getting bullied to the bully, because now that he's the one with the strength and the power and the karate and everything else. So that awakened something inside of Kenny. But then when Kenny finds out the truth about Cobra Kai towards the end, it's like, he doesn't want to be a part of that, but at the same time, can he really be Robbie's friend either? So that was interesting that he didn't just go running back to Robbie going, oh, you're right all along, let's be friends, because they've had issues, and you can't necessarily just, even though Robbie looks like he's trying to look past that, I guess on Kenny's side of things, it's like, it's still kind of there. So we'll see potentially how that develops in season 6. I mean, the way it ended, here's the thing about season 6, or a potential season 6. They haven't announced it. Apparently, they've shot things that could end up in season 6, but there's nothing being confirmed that it is even going to be season 6. I would say that the way it ended, the way season 5 ended, I wouldn't be mad if it just stopped here. I think it was a good ending. Leaves a few things ambiguous, closes off a few other things as well. So I feel like this is a good way to end it. If they never do a season 6, I would not be mad. I mean, if they do, hopefully they have some more good stories and things like that to bring along and do it that then. But if they don't, I'm not mad. This is a good way, in my opinion, to end the whole thing because they got some closure. And I'd say they left a few things ambiguous as well. So with Kreese was a snake. I mean, here's the thing, yeah. When that guy stabbed him and he was lying on the floor, he's bleeding. I was thinking to myself that blood looks a bit weird because he got stabbed in multiple places, but the blood was on one side. So I was thinking to myself, that blood looks a bit weird. But at the same time, I was kind of thinking like that maybe that's just like a goof, you know what I mean, like a TV error or something like that. So I didn't really give it that much thought. But then we see him at the end, and it's like, nah, he just played him, and escapes a prisoner. I would say though that escape, I mean. It's Karate Kid. It's Cobra Kai. I could suspend my belief for the show and just take it for what it is. But there was a few things where I'm like, nah, that would never work. That would never work. For one thing, he steals the card out the therapist's pocket, right? Okay, cool. But I'm sure she would notice eventually that her card is missing because they don't really say how long it's been from when he steals the cards to when he finally escapes. But it seems like a good amount of time has passed, right? So yeah, she would have noticed. I think she would have noticed. And him just walking out of a prison, like, come on. I'm like, maybe you'll get past that door with the scanner thing, but to just walk out, like nobody else is going to be checking security or ask you to be fair, I've never worked in a prison, so I don't know, but I would assume they would have various sign in and sign outs and things like that along the way, and that card isn't going to do every single thing. That's going to do that one door, then you have to do other things, and somebody along the lines is going to notice something is up. But it's okay. It's a TV show. I can suspend my belief for. I mean, it's based on the 80s Karate Kid. It's gonna be cheesy at times. So I can allow it. I can allow it. But yeah, no, I liked the way it ended. I thought it was a really cool ending. I thought they'd done some really cool stories with the characters, and they really kind of delved into people's minds and their mindsets, and it wasn't just all good guy, bad guy, that type of thing. It was there's a lot of in there. And yeah, the intensity of the rivalries, they really ramped it up with the season as well. So if they end it here, I would not be mad. But if they do do a season 6, God willing, I'm here for it. But anyway, I think that's enough rambling for now. Let me know what you think of Cobra Kai season 5 if you watched it. Drop any recommendations, suggestions in the comments, send them through and I'll see what I can do. Like, share, subscribe, because we're doing this 10-year Get Me fam. We've got more videos on the screen. Check out my other channels as well. Be much appreciated. But that's going to be it for the minute. So guys, until whenever, if ever, pain does not exist in this dojo, does it?